Yo, this Trump fool goes on about securing the border. Now, what did he do for his 4 years? He didn't secure crap. The only borders he wants to secure is his desire for dictatorship. He wants to become king in his country, and it's pathetic. It's so obvious of what he's trying to do, and yet I just can't believe. Well, I can believe people support him is because most of these people live in an echo chamber where they're not exposed to the truth of what is going on and what Trump really is. Trump desires power. He desires wealth. He desires all of the vanity that you can imagine for him and his cronies. So these people who support him, either they don't care, they want him to become like a king because they pretty much worship him, or they just don't know about it. Like a lot of the independents, they just don't know about it. They're not watching the news. It's just a word of mouth thing, like, oh, Biden's old, dementia, and this. It's a word of mouth thing, and they're not really focused right now. So they're gonna miss a big chunk of the information on Trump that's out there, or they're gonna dismiss it, or they're watching Fox News and Newsmax, whatever, are going on with their propaganda because it appeals to the voter. So Fox News began as a right-wing alternative to what they considered mainstream or centrist or liberal corporate media, and they're corporate media too, of course. But eventually, so they've been spoon feeding these people for years of a different viewpoint, most of it BS. So then these people began to really believe that stuff. So if every time Fox News wanted to tell the truth, the people would hate on them or start watching Newsmax, and it would go down in a rating scale or be criticized and all this threatened. So it kind of forced Fox News and other media to report on what people want to hear. And that has been to the detriment of millions of people. So that is a huge problem that needs to be solved. But that could only be solved by becoming part of the government. That's the only way to win elections, on reforming media, corporations, corruption, SCOTUS, Senate. Across the board, we need total reform. We need to eradicate the Electoral College. So Trump is a real threat to this government. A real threat, because he's only going to hire cronies. He's only going to, he's only going to have yes men in his government, in his cabinet, as his chief of staff and so on. So he's going to destroy the system from within. Now the system, when I say the system, I'm talking about the good system of the electoral process. He's going to rig the hell out of it. We might actually not even have any more elections, or it would just be so convoluted with his evilness that it's going to be a foregone conclusion. So we need to really, Biden might not be the best choice, but see, this is a consequences. This is something else here. This is a consequence of having a two-party duopoly in this country. This is the consequence, because now we have Trump, which just took over one of those two parties. So he would have never had this much power had we had not even political parties, if candidates would just run based on their own platform instead of having to be Democrat or Republican. You know, you are your own person. You have your own platform. That would have been a lot better. You know, all these laws that restrict ballot access are coming back to bite the sensible people on the ass, basically. And we can only thank party hacks for that. Corrupt. You know, we need to do something about insider trading. There should be no insider trading. In fact, anybody in government shouldn't even be playing in the stock market. You should be totally divested from that, because you're in a sphere of public influence. So it's pathetic that happens, man. They're getting rich. How do you get multi-millionaire rich on a $100 and something thousand salary per year? There's something wrong with that picture. You know, they never went into business, or they'll get into business on some board once they leave office to, you know, to repay their loyalty, their fealty to the corporations who they've represented, the lobbyists. We need to outlaw lobbyists. We need to get rid of the swamp, the corruption, invasive in this system, in this government. But it requires common sense people to get involved and to get active, to point out what a tyrant Trump wants to be and what he is really at heart. He is a horrible person. And he's going to destroy this country. If you love this country, don't give Trump any votes, because you're going to see, mark my words, you're going to see what happens. It's not going to be pretty. Unless of course, well, I said the people who care about the country, but unless, of course, you don't care or you want Trump as a king. I mean, why would you want a total moron as the king? A guy who's like losing his mind out there. A hateful, ignorant psychopath to be the leader of the free world, or the king in your mind. You know, the people who want a king I'm speaking to right now. He would be the last person I would choose. That last. The greatest king would be like the most benevolent person who understands the problems in society and he knows the solutions. He knows what he wants to do then. But if you want to destroy the system, I mean, Trump is not the way to do it. Trump is we're basically going to be imprisoned in this country. And we're all going to be imprisoned by the Orange Crush. So it won't be pretty, trust me. So even if Biden is the Democratic nominee, I mean, he's done a pretty good job so far. He's done a pretty good. I don't understand why people are like, oh, he has dementia or he's slow. It's more of a rumor thing set forth by people, you know, Republicans. He's old. It's like, what, about 80 years old or so. But honestly, I'd rather vote for dead Biden over Trump. We would get a lot more done. It would be, the system would be in better shape after those 4 years with a skeleton in the Oval Office. So that's all I'm going to say right now. The hell with Trump.